Hello. For great toilet side wrestling talk, but I'm fully dressed.
Thank goodness.
Nor am I on a toilet. It's an honor actually being able to speak to the both of you. It truly is. How much value do you put into tape study for like a match of this magnitude, and especially you, Deonna, when Mickie's got a vast catalog? Where do you even begin?
Yeah, I think you begin at the beginning. I am the Virtuosa. I am a master strategist, so tape study is essential to what I bring to the table when I step in the ring. If you can pinpoint what your opponent's thinking or the move they might be going for, there's always a counter to that. And that is exactly what the Virtuosa does in every match that she steps into the ring for. So, you pretty much nailed it on the head. There's a vast category on YouTube of Impact stuff, of WWE stuff, of her match most recently at NWA with Kylie Ray. So I get to see every generation. Everything Mickie's ever done is at my fingertips, and I'm going to absolutely use that to my advantage at Bound for Glory.
That's good to know. That's good to know, because I've been studying you too, and I think, yes, to follow up on that, yes, it is a vast thing, but what I think is really important too is the mental study, and I like to really, Deonna likes to play mind games and do things like show up at my house and stuff, but I also am the master of the mind games, and I think that I got your number here. So
you've yet to clearly, so you've yet to prove that, so I don't know.
Oh, we'll see. Time will tell.
Brad, do you feel
I'm Joyce.
with your answer? Just
Yeah.
to laugh.
That was the perfect answer. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Brad. I appreciate it.
And we appreciate your backdrop too.
Yeah,
Thank you. Anytime.
Yeah, it's unique. We love it.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Brad. Okay, so next we have Riju from Sportskeeda, and he's actually calling in from India, guys. So
Nice.
It's midnight. Thank you,
Yeah.
Riju, for being so patient and staying up for us.
Raju. Hello.
So, hello. Yeah, long time no see. Essentially, there are a lot of free agents on the market that all of you have probably worked with. Do you see any of them showing up at Bound for Glory? And are there some free agents you'd want to see at Bound for Glory?
Ooh, that's a good question. The whole free agent thing is a cool thing, I think, because it gives the control to, they can kind of show up wherever, and that's a delightful surprise. I don't really know. Whoever it is, I hope they don't show up in our match, because I got a lot of work to do out there already, and I got a lot of butt to kick already, so I don't need two,
I feel like, I would agree that I think being a free agent is cool, and we've seen a ton of people come into Impact over the last couple months, and Chelsea Green is one of those people where we're bringing in a ton of free agents for our Knockouts Knockdown pay-per-views. So I think it's awesome. I think that giving them the opportunity at Bound for Glory, at our biggest event of the year, to come in and make a statement is essential to any wrestler that wants to kind of renew themselves. And I got that opportunity at Slammiversary to win the Knockouts Championship for the first time and really solidify myself. So it'll be interesting to see who shows up, definitely. And I hope some people do shake up our Knockouts division. More people for me to beat after I kick Mickie's butt.
I will say, on top of that, Impact Wrestling has been doing such a great job at actually giving some great surprises. This past Slammiversary, I will say, there were surprises that I didn't even expect, and I'm there working. But I think a lot of people were surprised, fans, and it's always just so refreshing to have those nice surprises in wrestling, because I think people are just too spoiled now by spoilers, right?
Yeah.
So it's nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. So next is my thorn in my side from Fightful Wrestling, right? Sean Ross, you are.
What's wrong with spoilers? Personally, I love spoilers.
Need a spoiler.
Spoiler
alert. Spoiler alert.
I think spoilers are great. So I have a question. It's tied to all three of you, but sort of respectively. Gail, when you see an attack like what you saw last week on Impact, as a person of authority, how do you address it, or do you address it, or is it girls will be girls, boys will be boys. Sometimes they beat each other up.
Hey, listen.
Deonna, how did you convince a cameraman to follow you to Mickie's house? And Mickie, had things went differently, what would you have done with Deonna? Like, if she's laid out, are you dragging her to the property line? Like, how is it going to work
I did not know
out?
how, well, I obviously didn't see that coming, so I didn't know how that was going to work out. I mean, she's lucky that my son wasn't there, because we would be having a much different conversation right now, for one. I suppose eventually I would have called the authorities and had her arrested in her cute little white shoes, and she would have looked real cute in a jail cell like that.
I mean, you were wearing the same outfit, were you?
We were not wearing the same outfit, for gosh sakes.
No, I think the clothes you wear to clean a stall at the barn are a lot less tasteful than the clothes I wear. So.
It's true. I mean, I did have a tank top, some jeans, and some muck boots on.
You were both wearing white after Labor Day.
Oh, that's not a rule. It's not a real rule.
Real.
I will take that all the way. I'm going to be all white down for glory.
But Gail, how do you handle that? Like, when you see your top
Gail,
champion,
how are you going to handle this?
how are you going to handle it? Or are you?
The match has been set. So I've been there. I've had fights very similar to that. I love it. Okay? I love it. Let them go at it. And I can't wait for Las Vegas, Bound for Glory, Sam. I can't wait to see who's going to come out on top. Sometimes you need to get a little dirty like that, throughout this process. And then at the end, let's see who's going to come out victorious.
Thank you all very much.
Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Next, we've got we have Kevin. Kev or Kevin from Nerdly. What do you like to be called, Kev or Kevin?
Kevin, anything's fine, I don't mind. You've earned the right to call me whatever you want.
Welcome, Kev.
So I am going to step back a little bit to Deonna. Before, during one of your answers, you mentioned growing up as a young girl and all that, and looking up to these wrestlers and the likes of Mickie James and Gail Kim. I watch a lot of wrestling with my 10-year-old daughter, and right now, there is just such a multitude of fantastic talent out there, females-wise, across the board. What would be a good bit of advice that you guys would give to someone her age or any girl their age wanting to maybe look to get into this sort of career?
Well, I would say first make sure your education comes first, I think. Because even in wrestling, you need to have an education and a knowledge of how business works. But also, I would say, and I'm sure Deonna and Gail can both attest to this, is like do your homework and find the right school, like a school that has like a track record and is respected across the board. Because a lot of there's obviously talent comes from different places, but there's a lot of really, especially now, I think there's more respected schools out there now than there ever was. But there's also a lot of not so good schools. And I that was my biggest thing, is when I first started, the school I started at, I ended up transferring like a year and a half later, and I had to relearn a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm grateful for it because it was my foot in the door, but I had to relearn a lot of stuff over after that first year and a half or whatever. So
Definitely walk before you run, people, if you want to do that, because just like you said, I always say the same thing, is get a backup education, a backup skill, whatever. I have education, but I still wish I got more backup skills, because this business is not something that can last forever. I mean, I retired when I was 40. So, 40 still, I know maybe not to you guys, but it is still too young.
it's very young.
So, you have a lot of time, and I've been just very fortunate to be able to stay in the business, but that doesn't always happen. So definitely what you're saying.
Especially for women, it doesn't happen.
And
it's not, now it is now, more than it used to be, but the average span of a female in the wrestling business was like 7 years, when I got in. And you would be actually making money or being able to call it a career per se. So, yeah.
What would your advice be?
I think that I started wrestling when I was 18, fresh out of high school. So I think my biggest advice, besides what you guys have already said is to get an education, because I wish I had done that, and I'm doing it now and my life is crazy, is to be a kid, and maybe don't start until you're 18. Live your life, because those are years that I missed with friends and going to college, and a lot of stuff that are once in a lifetime. You're only going to get to do those things once. And I see a lot of, especially where I'm from in the Northeast, young people starting when they're 16 and 15 and 17, and it takes away from your childhood. So go be a kid and enjoy what 16, 17, 18, 21 has to offer, and enjoy that part of your life before you get into this, because once you're in wrestling, it's you're either all in or you're all out if you want it to be your career. And there's a lot of things that I missed from that time period in my life that I wish I could have done differently.
Save your money. Thank you, Karen.